What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Shackington. Today I've got a brand new power bank to show you. This is the PR70 from JOYROOM. Now if you saw my recent desk setup video, then you'll also have seen this. This is the PODIX, which is also from the same company. It is a multi-charger that I've been using. It is very cool. It's a 5-in-1 with some built-in cables and some USB-A and a C port. But this being a charger means that you always have to have it plugged into a wall. So now JOYROOM are expanding the PODIX line with the PR70, a power bank. This is something that has just launched on Kickstarter. JOYROOM are looking for backers to make this power bank a reality. I'll link to it in the description so you can check it out and get all the details. And they do have a super early bird deal discount for anyone that does decide to back it and gets in there early. This video is not sponsored, but I thought this looked really cool, so I figured we could check it out together. This is an early production sample that JOYROOM sent over. So I should just mention that, this might not be the exact final design, or there might be some slight changes. This is an early unit, and maybe there's some little quirks of it that we might discover in this video. Now, even just looking at this on the box, this does share a lot in common with Anker's 165W laptop power bank. This is one of my all-time favorite power banks for those heavy use days. But there are some differences between the two, so we'll dig into those throughout the video and we'll do some comparisons to help you decide which is the best for you. The Anker power bank came out I think 18 months ago now, maybe a little longer, and this is a new power bank from JOYROOM, so it does have a few upgrades over the Anker. So let's get it unboxed and we'll take a look around. So we've got the power bank, some paperwork, and a nice little carry pouch as well. So here it is, the PR70. This is really nice actually. We've got a sort of oblong design with nice sort of smooth rounded corners. And if we bring in the Anker power bank, we can start to see some more of the similarities. So they both have a glossy front, although on the PR70 that extends right down to the bottom. They both have a lanyard, which also doubles as a USB-C cable. On the top, we've got an on-off power button for the display on the PR70, and they both have retractable C cables. On the side is where you'll find the power button for the Anker. They both have a C port and an A port. And you'll notice on the PR70, the glossy front actually wraps around to the one side, and we'll get into why this is and what this does a little later in the video. But first, let's just measure this up and see how much it weighs. So in terms of height, we're talking about 16 centimeters. Width is about 5.5, and depth, I'd say about 5 centimeters. So very similar to the Anker. There's not much in it if you are just looking at size. And for weight, it's about 625 grams versus the Anker at 595. So very slightly heavier on paper, but I can't say that I actually noticed the difference in the hand. So just something I've also noticed is on the PODIX, we do also have these little rubber feet. So if you do have the power bank on the desk, it does have those rubber feet, and it's not going to slide around as much as the Anker will. And if you're wondering, neither of them have anything on the bottom, just a bunch of sort of regulatory information. So let's take a closer look at the port situation. They both have 4 ports, or in this case, it's a combination of built-in cables and ports. So they both have retractable cables up top. Now in my notes, I've got these both down as being 70 centimeters, but the PODIX is actually just ever so slightly longer. You've got about an extra 10 centimeters there. And the way these work is you can just sort of retract them and sort of leave them to the desired amount of cable that you need, so you don't have to have the entire cable out. They basically just sort of work like a seat belt, and you can just let them go and they retract back inside the power bank when you're finished. And I do like having these because it means that you always have a cable with you. And I've had the Anker power bank for over 1.5 years now, and it still works just fine. I've had no issues with it. So hopefully we see the same sort of durability with the PODIX, but we'll have to wait and see. Then they both have a second built-in C cable on the side. These sort of just tuck in, and you can unclip them as needed. And again, the PODIX one is just ever so slightly longer, maybe an extra 5 centimeters. Whereas the retractable cables are just covered in plastic, the built-in ones on the side are braided on both, so you get a bit of extra durability there. And then the other similarity that you probably picked up on already is they do both have displays built in on the front, and these will show you a bunch of charging information and battery information, and we'll dig into the different sort of screens you have in a moment. But the PODIX does actually have one more thing up its sleeve. So on the side, we mentioned how the glossy front curves around, and that's because it actually has a second display This is going to show you more of the same sort of charging information that you can see on the side of the power bank that you see on the front. And I think the reason I've done this is so that if you do have like the power bank just sort of like lying down on the desk or stood up or in a different position, you've always got like a screen that you can see and is sort of like in your eye line when you're sort of checking up on the power bank and seeing what it's doing. So on both of these, on the first sort of display page, we have the current capacity. So the PODIX is at 76% out the box. My Anker has just dropped 2%, what has been sitting in my bag. But that will change if you have something plugged in. So if I just plug in my phone, we can see it's now showing the current percentage of the power bank, the current wattage it's outputting at, so 7 watts, and how long it will take until the power bank runs out of juice based on how much it's currently outputting. So it's got about, ticking down as it sort of, the wattage increases, about 3.5 hours. Now it's gone up to 19 watts. Then on the second page, we have a little more detailed information. We've got like a nice graph showing us that the C1, which is the cable on the side, is now outputting at 24 watts. And we can also see the power bank temperature at 27 degrees and the current battery health, which is of course sitting at 100%, and the cycle count, which is sitting at 2. I guess because this is like an early production unit, they've probably been running some tests on this before it got shipped out to me. And if we look at the side display, this is just showing us the current total output at 21 watts. So all very sort of similar stuff that we've seen on the Anker before. But I mean, I do really like that we have this second display on the PR70. I think it is going to make it nice and useful if you do have the power bank sort of lying down or stood up vertical when you just want to see what's going on. So let's now just go over some of the power bank specs. These both sit at 25,000 milliamp hours and at 90 watt hours. So that puts both of them under the 100 watt hour limit. So you can take these on a plane or on most planes in your carry-on. Just always check your airline's rules before flying. But this is where things actually start to change quite a lot between the two, and the PODIX starts to really pull ahead. So when you're using one of the cables, so if you're using the retractable cable on both, the Anker tops out at 100 watts, whereas the PODIX goes up to 140. And that's because the Anker supports Power Delivery 3.0, whereas the PODIX supports the newer standard Power Delivery 3.1. So 140 watts is going to fast charge something like a MacBook Pro faster with the PODIX, as it can just output more juice through that retractable cable. But I should mention that you're probably not going to get a full recharge out of either of these into a 16-inch MacBook Pro, just because of the efficiency of power banks and how power actually gets transferred. I actually have done a full video on that, kind of explaining what that means, so I'll link to that down in the description if you want to check it out. If you're charging two devices with the C ports, that's when the Anker reaches its max total output of 165 watts versus the PODIX, which gets 240. And that also is the same when you're charging three devices. So if you're using all three C ports on the PODIX, you can get up to a max total output of 240. The Anker, on the other hand, will drop down to 130. And that's also the same case if you're using all of the ports on the Anker at the same time. Now, when you do the same on the PODIX, this can potentially reach 140 watts across all three C ports, plus 24 watts out of the A port. So again, the PODIX wins out on pretty much every instance of single device or multi-device charging across the board. And a lot of that is down to the PODIX simply being newer and supporting the faster Power Delivery 3.1 standard for single device charging for things like a MacBook Pro. So I know I've just sort of thrown a load of numbers at you, so let's take a bit more of like a practical look at the PODIX. Let's just plug a load of things in. So I do have my iPad just off screen. So I've plugged the retractable cable into that. We'll plug my iPhone into the side cable. Now I've just grabbed the first cable that I have, and it's an Anker cable, so we'll use that on the side. And we'll plug in an action camera. But now I'm going to have to go and find an A cable because I never use them, so I don't have one to hand. Okay, I really am struggling here to find a cable. Okay, I found an A cable, and yeah, it's another Anker. So we'll just plug in my AirPods. Okay, so we've got a lot of stuff plugged in now. Let's just see what's going on the display. So we can see we have dropped down to 70% capacity now, just as I've been randomly just plugging stuff in. And based on how much it's currently outputting at 53 watts, it is going to run out of power in around 58 minutes. So if we go to the second screen, we can see that the C2, which is the retractable, which is plugged into the iPad, is outputting at around 32, 33 watts. The iPad is at 49%, so it is going to be sort of fast charging at almost its top speed, but not quite the fastest speed it can. The iPhone is being plugged into the C1, and that's outputting at 9.6 watts. That is currently at 73%, so again, that's just not going to fast charge at full speed at the moment. And then it doesn't look like there's any way to see the C3 or the A port on this front display. We have to look at the side display, which is covered in my fingerprints. So the C3, which is plugged into the Insta360 Action Cam, is outputting at 8.5 watts, and the A port plugged into my AirPods is outputting at 1.7. I'm never sure how well these displays come across on camera when I'm recording because it is just so bright in here, but they are very visible to me, to the eye, so I hope you guys can see them. But I have just realized as well, if you press the power button, the side display will then change to show the total output. So we're currently outputting around 58 watts and all of the port icons are lit up, so we know that we're using all ports together. I do quite like the UI on this main page, it looks really nice, but I do think on the second page on the front, I'd rather be able to see all of the ports here. I don't really want to check the temperature necessarily or know what my cycle count is. So I'd rather have all of the ports listed and for them to have a third page where they have the information for the battery temperature and the battery health and the cycles, as that's just sort of like utility information that I don't necessarily need to look at day to day. But I mean, overall, it's a nice UI. I do actually like that we have these like live graphs showing you the peaks and dips in the power output. And I have noticed as well that the display will dim itself after a few seconds. So yeah, I guess that is just sort of like to save its own power as well. And you can press the power button again to make it go back to full brightness. And there are some nice details, like it shows power delivery lit up on the port that's using power delivery. And there is like a fast charging symbol as well. So you know when you're using fast charging and when you're not. So just a few other details to cover. When it comes to recharging the PODIX, it has a total input of 100 watts, which is the same as the Anker. So they both take around 2 hours to do a full recharge. And they both support a low current mode. So on the PODIX, if you hold the power button down, you'll see an icon appear in the top right with like a little lightning bolt and a green dot. And what low current mode does is if you have something that is really low power plugged into, say, the A port, like a pair of AirPods or a smartwatch, sometimes because they're drawing so little power, power banks will just fall asleep and sort of stop charging the device. So low current mode just basically tells it, no, you are still charging something, don't go to sleep and keep charging it. And you can turn it off again by just holding the power button. And this does also supposedly support pass-through, so let's try it out. So we'll plug it into charge. So we'll just take a quick look at the input UI. So we're currently fast charging at 90 watts. We're at 61.1%. And from this percentage, it's going to take us around 43 minutes to reach a full charge. And then with pass through, we should be able to plug something else in while the power bank is on charge. And it should charge the power bank and charge the device you've got plugged in at the same time. And yeah, on the second page, we can see the C2 is at 90 watts and the C1 is at 14 watts and climbing, as I've just plugged in the phone. But I think it would actually be nice here if we had different colors to show you whether it's, you know, input or output. Maybe they could keep it blue for output and change it to green for input so you can easily differentiate between the two. Now, when it comes to how many charges you're going to get out of this power bank into your tech, that can vary with a few factors. Now, I haven't been able to find like a concrete answer for the efficiency rating of this power bank. So even though it is the same 25,000 milliamp hours as the Anker, that doesn't necessarily mean that they both actually give you the same amount of charge, because one might be more efficient than the other. I am going to have to spend more time with the PODIX just to see how it fares, but I think as a general sort of rough guide, you can expect to get maybe around 4 charges for like a base iPhone or an iPad mini, 2 charges for something like a MacBook Air, and something in between for something like an iPad. Also, you can see my Anker, now that I've used it for quite a bit, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I do have a few scratches on my glossy front, so the front on the PODIX is all glossy, so I think this is going to be a bit of a fingerprint and a bit of a scratch magnet. But I mean, I do really like this design. I think it is very sleek, very modern. But yeah, I keep getting fingerprints all over the side, so I'm going to have to keep wiping that down. Now, in terms of price, this is going to retail when it launches for $130. That is $10 more than the Anker, but you are getting a faster and even more capable power bank, so I think that is a fair price. But as I mentioned, this is on Kickstarter right now, so they do have a super early bird deal where you can back one of these and get one for $75. So you could get two of these for the price of pretty much one when it retails and launches officially. I will link to this down in the description so you can read through all of the information if you do decide to be an early backer on Kickstarter. Overall, after unboxing and comparing it to the Anker, the PODIX PR70 does definitely stand out with its dual displays, the built-in USB-C cables, and even much more detailed charging information with like the live graphs. You get higher power output with PD 3.1 support, making it a better fit for those more demanding devices like high-power laptops. The Anker power bank has been a favourite now for a good year and a half since it came out. I've been using this a lot recently on some sailing trips where there's no power to plug anything in when you're out on the water. So this has been keeping my phone and all of my other tech that I have with me charged up. Now, of course, I am going to have to spend some more time with the PR70 to do some proper long-term performance and reliability tests. But just based on first impressions, I mean, it is really shaping up to be a promising alternative if you are looking for a feature-packed high-power power bank. Let me know what you think of the PR70. Are you in the market for a high-power power bank? If you've got any questions, you can drop them in the comments and I will do my best to answer. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video or if it helped you out, and subscribe and hit the bell to see more tech videos from me. I've got some really exciting videos coming up soon. In fact, my next video is like completely different to anything that I've ever done before on the channel, so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.